All right. I'm going to go into the house here. I think someone's been in here already, though. So the chest.
All these doors are open.
Yeah.
But
yeah. Wait, watch out. To the left.
Oh,
to the left. There's some people.
All right, I need to get a better gun.
Got him. Got him.
Nice.
Hey, what are you guys playing?
Hey, Mucci. Fortnite. One of the best games there is.
You have a Switch and you're playing Fortnite? Let's Smash Bros. Come on, man. Let's play Smash Bros.
Pew pew. Just shoot him up.
You have a Switch. You got to be playing Smash. It's way better.
Like the original, or because we're playing original Fortnite right now.
No, the new Switch the newer Switch for the newer Smash for the Switch, I should say.
No, that's trash.
I think we should maybe have a debate on this.
Yeah, we probably should.
All right. Welcome to OTR Debate, our off-the-record podcast where three lawyers debate all things while managing to find out how it comes back to the law. I'm Wee. I'll be the judge for today's episode.
I'm Lando. I'm a prosecutor.
And I'm Mucci. I work in immigration.
And today we'll be debating Fortnite versus Smash.
Yeah.
Bros.
Impromptu here.
Yeah, we had a nice setup out here by the lake. It's, when you're by a campfire, what better game to play than Fortnite?
Really puts you into the realm of Fortnite.
Mm. Right. This is kind of like one of the little campfires over in Fortnite. Not in the original island, but they have campfires.
We're recovering
the boring original. All right, we'll get into it.
Yeah. So per usual, we're going to start with openings, then go into a few questions, followed by closing statements, and then I'll make my judgment. Sound good to you guys?
That's great.
Yeah. All right. So who wants to start?
I'll start. Fortnite, a game that's ever changing, wildly popular. You could change your guns, you could change your skins, you could change. They changed the map, for God's sakes. It's changing all the time. They're adding new things, more chests, more guns, more things, more vehicles, more everything. Everything's better. It's a great game to play. At the heart of it, it's just a lot of fun. You could play it with other friends. I was playing it with the judge here. We weren't colluding at all. It's a great game.
All right. So, Smash. So, first, I want to say put yourself in the late 1990s, right? And, you've had a lot of great fighting games come out over the past decade. From Street Fighter 2, you got like Tekken and Mortal Kombat and Virtua Fighter, Dead or Alive, Soul Calibur, all of these fighting games. And then comes this new kind of fighting game that kind of takes a little bit of the Marvel vs. Capcom approach of like mashing together all sorts of different characters from different properties and having them fight. But what it does differently is, from any other fighting game really before, is instead of someone's got a health bar and you got to knock it down to 0 to knock them out, it's more that they have a sort of percentage meter and it makes them more likely to get knocked off the level. So you could like fall off the level at 0% and die. So it's a completely different kind of fighting game that became very popular in its various installments for every Nintendo console since the N64, since 1999. And remains popular in esports in terms of fighting games. The new one is popular in esports, but also the GameCube one, Melee, is still hugely popular. So, and that's an over 20-year-old title. So, it's had a huge influence, and has brought more people into fighting games as well because of its simplicity and easy approachability and ability to play as characters that people love from all different Nintendo properties and others.
Okay.
It's a long way to say that it's worse than Fortnite, but okay.
All right, so moving into my first question, I kind of want to know a little bit more about your games. Can you each talk about the strengths, both Fortnite and Smash Bros?
Yeah, absolutely. Fortnite is a battle royale game where you are, you all load up, 100 players load up onto this battle bus, and you get dropped out. You get dropped out on this island. And you just have to kill each other, and you got to be the last one standing. It's playable as a solo game where you're playing by yourself, duos, trios, and a squad of 4 people. So you could play it with your friends, you could play it by yourself, however you want to do it. That's how you could go about it. The map's ever changing. It's always an island, but there's always things that they're adding to it. There's different seasons, chapters where they're adding houses, they're adding mountains, jungles, deserts.
Do they also subtract things from it?
They do. And currently, as of record here, they started off with the OG Fortnite, which is the map that Fortnite first started off with, which has nothing.
Bad. Not good.
I personally don't like it. But that's the thing about Fortnite. They're going to add more to it because when you start a new season, a new chapter, it starts off with a certain kind of map, but then it grows into more. They add more to it, and they change the guns and the vehicles, and it just keeps changing, gets better. A million different ways to move around the map. So that's one of its strengths. Very few weaknesses other than right now it's in a lull for me. But yeah, that's Fortnite in a nutshell.
All right. How about Smash Bros?
Smash Brothers, a few strengths of it. One is that you can similarly have 2, 3, 4 players, which is also not something you had in fighting games before, where generally it was one head-to-head, one person against another. Maybe you had a team of 2 or something, but still head-to-head. So this one you can have 4, like you have Mario and Bowser and Zelda and Link jumping all over the map and knocking each other off of it. And the approachability though is something that I want to highlight as well. You have you don't have to like memorize Mortal Kombat or Street Fighter kind of button combinations or like how to make a move come out. If you just press like left B, it'll do something. And every character kind of has those same kind of moves, so it's very approachable for someone that's not like new to fighting games, or like they're not like, oh, I can't play as Bowser because I don't know how to do any of his moves. So that makes it very approachable to people, and also that's what leads to its popularity. The aspect that I want to highlight as well is that it is the newest. It's still going strong. The newest version on the Switch has sold 40% of the overall percent that the series have sold. So the series has sold like 73 million units, I think is what it is, as of record. Maybe it'll go up. But
couple maybe.
the latest installment sold over 40% of that number. So it's huge still. Yeah, it's still really popular, and really popular in like the tournament space and everything like that. Yeah.
Okay. Cool. So now that you had mentioned head-to-head combat, just to bring that to the debate, kind of want to put both Fortnite and Smash Brothers head-to-head.
Yeah.
Are there certain
Absolutely.
Comparisons, that you both can make, and why you think that your game is better than the other one?
There's a bunch of comparisons that I can make. The weaknesses of Smash Bros. That Mucci didn't mention are that it's very static, right? So it's been around for a decent amount of time now at this point, and it's still the same game. You fall off this, this ledge and you're dead or whatever. Mucci mentioned it. You're at 0%. You can get knocked off that bad boy, you're toast. They have not as many characters to choose from in Fortnite. It's just like an infinite amount at this point of different skins. You could play as anyone. You could play as the Terminator. You could play as there's like all these like internet meme guys now on there too. Goku's on there. Star Wars is on there.
Mm-hmm.
Just everyone's on there.
But that's what I want to address. If I could jump in, just because you presented it, is that those are just number one. Those are just skins. They don't really play any differently.
Aren't we just all skins?
And skinwalkers.
But they're just. I mean, they are just. They're skins. The characters play the same because like you can't really have an advantage over other players because even if you buy a skin, you can't like buy your way to the top. So they have to make them not have any gameplay use at all. Whereas in Smash Brothers, you have a bunch of characters that you can play as that have their own moves and things they can do, and you have 70 different characters, over 70 different from 40 different franchises, not just Nintendo ones. But also, I just wanted to point out, though, the large supply of characters in Fortnite, they're only in these tight little windows that you can really acquire them.
Unless you get them, and then you've got them.
Then you got them, but you have to wait for so you don't really have all the options presented to you when you load up the game to go like, I want to get, Goku now. I want to get whoever. So whereas in Smash, you do have all that. You have the,
if you
can
buy
get the characters.
the next version to get the next character.
You get the roster, huge roster of characters. You can get individual DLC characters too. Just like in Fortnite, I mean, it's not free. It's not a free game, But you can
Is
never.
Fortnite free?
It is, but you're never locked out. If you want to, sometimes you want to have to pay for the characters if you don't have enough money. But it's in these tight little windows to incentivize you to pay for it because that's how they make their money.
Right.
Right. But you might never be able to get Goku if you miss that a couple week window.
Right. I mean, they've brought Star Wars up a couple different times, so they do have them reoccurring. And to go back to something you said about the different skins just being the skins and they don't have their own moves or whatever, I think you already mentioned that if you hit the same combination of buttons, it plays for every different character. They might have separate moves, but they're all on equal playing field, right?
They have but the moves are easy to come out and to achieve in Smash Brothers, but someone's like B button combination is not going to do the same as another. So one character, Ness, has this great like baseball bat attack. If he hits you with it, you're like gone, and that's not necessarily equivalent for every other character. Someone might have a super strong attack like that in their roster. You have to find it, but it's not hard to do the moves. But like you still want to know the characters. They have different moves. They do. They just do different weights. Like Bowser would be huge and pound on someone, and
That's true. Do they all have the same double jump feature?
They do and they don't. Like some of them suck.
Yeah, that's true.
And some of them are great.
Yeah, and I think with my experience of Smash Brothers, like Kirby or Jigglypuff have not infinite jumps, but they can keep jumping.
Right.
And floating
yeah,
kind of thing.
yeah.
Or Peach,
Yeah,
for
yeah.
instance, has an umbrella that she can float with, and Zelda, I think, similarly has some moves like that too. But
no one's overpowered, is what I'm saying, right? They're still somewhat. They balance each other out.
Yeah, but I'm sure if you could look at a tier list and see who is like recommended, who the pros play as or whatever, or like who's recommended to play as, maybe, maybe.
Probably not.
can you play as Link in Fortnite?
I always play as Link.
In Fortnite?
Yeah.
Can you buy a Link
Oh
skin?
my God, I would love to have a Link skin in Fortnite.
Yeah, I don't know if they ever did that.
They will. Don't you worry.
Yeah, I'm trying to think if they have any other Nintendo
That's
skins
interesting. Yeah,
on Fortnite. Like
Nintendo
with
is
licensing or
very litigious, so who knows?
yeah.
Very
I might
litigious.
get into that later.
Another comparison I wanted to make is that whereas Smash Brothers is a Nintendo property, Fortnite's all over the place. You could play that. You could play that on the Switch. You could play that on Xbox. You could play that on PlayStation. And on top of it, very rarely can you ever cross-play with all of them, which is something you could do with Fortnite. So, a lot of fun.
I mean, it's true that Smash doesn't have that, but if you have a Nintendo, they're cheaper than PlayStation. So, hey.
Yeah.
As of,
play with your friends.
Well, I have to double check on that.
Are the games cheaper?
Well,
Fortnite
nothing's
is.
cheaper than Fortnite, I guess. But
I just know that in the past you've expressed that frustration that Nintendo doesn't lower their prices of the games too often.
even after like 5 years
Right.
of being around, yeah. Still $60 5 years later, which is, yeah.
Whereas
Whatever.
Fortnite,
You pay
maybe-
premium for quality, though.
Yeah, it's a fair point. I don't know if it's true, but it's fair.
It's not unfair.
What-
we can agree on that. It's not unfair.
One thing I wanted to highlight about, in terms of like the comparison between the two, is I used to love Smash Brothers, Nintendo 64 version though. It was a little bit more manageable. There's a lot of shit that's going on with it now. Like you're playing, you don't know what's going on. There's a lot of like lasers and just like stuff that's happening on screen that's got nothing to do with you.
You could remove all that. You could take all the items out and play without them. That's what the esports kind of competitions do to keep it basic.
That I did not know. But I will say, Fortnite is more of a competitive, or not competitive, it's a less competitive thing amongst your friends. So when I was playing Smash Brothers, in my earlier years, in my youth, I had a couple of best friends in high school, and I had some neighbor best friends, and we'd all play Smash Brothers at different times, and I would play with my neighbors, I'd play with my high school friends. But I'll tell you about this one story where one of my high school best friends came over to play Smash Brothers, and one of the neighborhood kids came over to play Smash with us. And, it was like a 4-person match, and we're all playing against each other. And the level of violence that comes out through Smash Brothers outside of the video game, let me tell you, is toxic, right? So my friend, 16, 17-year-old, almost an adult at that point, took his frustration out on this neighborhood kid that was much, much younger after losing in a game of Smash Brothers like a child. You don't get that with Fortnite, not with your friends. You might swear at the people on the other side of the world, but you're not going to get that with your friends. So, cheers to Fortnite.
I think I can remember someone lying there dying going, "Fucking save me, Mucci! Fucking save me!"
Well, you should have fucking saved me.
All right, so if there's no more comparisons, before we get into our third question for our regular listeners who are familiar with, and for those who are not, we usually try to tie this back to the law somehow. But before we do that, I'd just like to ask all of you to follow us on TikTok and Instagram, Facebook, and give us a like and subscribe on YouTube. But yeah, let's get into the last question. So, tying back to the law, are there any ongoing lawsuits or legal concepts that are explored through Fortnite or Smash Bros?
I'm sure there
are
are.
legal characters even?
Yeah.
Phoenix Wright. Well,
Probably be on Fortnite soon.
maybe. I can tackle this. So in this is a real world consequence or real world situation, but has to do with ROMs and emulators. And in November 2020, Nintendo sent this cease and desist letter to these tournament organizers, the Big House, that were trying to hold a Super Smash Bros. Melee event, but this being the COVID pandemic, they couldn't do that in person any longer, or it wouldn't be safe to. So, Melee is a GameCube game, right? And it didn't have any online capabilities. So there was no real way to do Melee outside of in person if you had the base game, right? So what they did was use this emulator. It's Slippy, and which is a modified version of the Dolphin emulator. And what it does is it provides a version of Melee that has in its menu, ability to go and play online and play with other people. And that's really the only change that I know of that was made to the game. But Nintendo, never released their own version of online Melee, but people still wanted to play it. 20 years later, it's still a popular game in the esports circles, in fighting game, the fighting game community. But they shut it down, and they were like, this, violates our intellectual property, which they're probably right on. The consensus is that emulators are kind of okay because it's just sort of it's like the system itself, it's emulating the console, but the ROMs, which are the individual games, may be a bit more thorny legally. You can access a ROM from a game disc, but 99% of the time, people are just downloading those ROMs, and that is illegal. It's like downloading music. But, they may be in the right, but also kind of lame on Nintendo's part because they're just kind of shutting this down when there's no other way to play it online, and, not allowing people to even play it at all, really, at that time, because people weren't playing these games in person. So, legally right, but, lame.
I'm glad you mentioned that, Mucci, because if you hadn't, my main thought was like, man, the man at Smash Brothers is really picking on these little guys that just want to play the fucking game, and they're not even able to do it properly because of COVID or whatever, and they're just being bullied. Fortnite would never do that.
Well, that speaks to the popular. I'm not talking about. This isn't Nintendo versus the creators of Fortnite. It's Smash Brothers versus Fortnite. Yeah,
that's true.
And people love Smash enough to get this pirated version of it so they could play.
Yeah, people love to Smash. So my legal question or answer to your question, I guess, is I was looking around to, because Fortnite has all these skins, and they've got these skins from all different types of properties, movie properties, shows, the internet, and I was looking to see how this is all being licensed, because what the hell, how are they getting all these people? They have everyone. And a couple of things I wanted to mention is to how they're getting certain characters. And they're based on collaborations with just people that are fans of the game. So the Russo brothers, they were behind Thanos and the Infinity War Endgame. the Avengers. They were big fans of Fortnite, collaborated with Fortnite. Thanos came about as a skin character. Mucci, you're right. I got behind in getting him as a character because I don't think I was even playing Fortnite before or while he was a character. And so now I just got to wait until he becomes a character again. But I don't think it's going to be a huge event anymore because Marvel's kind of done with that character.
We're in the multiverse saga now.
Yeah, we're in the multiverse. But yeah, Thanos had his character, and he did all things with the gauntlet or whatever. That was a collaboration. Another collaboration was with Keanu Reeves, being seen as the Fortnite guy. He's a fan. So stuff like that is how they kind of network and collaborate with.
Did they have him as a skin, as himself?
Yeah.
Or was it like John Wick?
John Wick,
okay.
yes.
I'm like,
It's
just
John
Keanu Reeves.
Well, I mean, so much of John Wick is Keanu Reeves. I mean, he looks exactly the same.
Sure.
You never see them both.
But like, just like having the actor Keanu Reeves running around this map shooting like the alien from Aliens or something. It's kind of.
Well, you do see the guy with the kind of face, like the whatever guy. He's on there. He's shooting people up. Yeah. So.
All right. Should we get into closings?
Sure. Let's get into closings.
Who wants to go?
Yeah, I'll just be brief. I'm not talking about Fortnite.
Great start.
Got Fortnite on the brain. But no, Smash Brothers paved this completely new identity in the fighting game scene. Is still really popular, and even its older titles, are like Melee from 22 years ago, are super popular. And it allowed you to play as all these different characters from all over Nintendo and beyond. You can be Peach fighting Zelda if you wanted to see that cat fight or whatever, whatever you wanted. So
that might have to be another episode. Peach versus Zelda.
So
the cat fight.
Yeah. So it really gave you this opportunity to do that, and also in this completely, they didn't just go the Marvel vs. Capcom route, but they provided this completely new type of fighting game, and I think that's something to celebrate.
Fortnite is a game that you're never going to get tired of because it's always changing. If you leave it alone for a little bit, it's going to be something completely different within a couple months, couple weeks even. And the modes of transportation are going to be different. The guns are going to be different. Everything's going to be different about it. It's going to be a completely different game. And you didn't have to pay for those different games. You'll be able to play as some of your favorite characters in movies and TV shows. And it's all going to be free, and you're going to love it because you're going to be playing with your friends.
All right. Well, thank you both for sharing both sides of these.
You're welcome.
So I grew up playing Nintendo mostly. I was a big fan of Melee back in high school and would play that a lot on GameCube, which is probably one of my favorite Nintendo console. And I was actually shocked to hear that 40% of their overall sales are from the new Switch version, because I personally don't have it and never really had the desire to buy it. I also didn't buy it on Wii either, even though that's my namesake. So, I think it's not a remnant of the past, but I do kind of view it that way. Whereas I'm playing Fortnite today. Not today, literally.
Just like a couple of minutes ago.
Yeah, that's true, yeah. But, I do play with both of you and another friend, Maddie, occasionally. And I do love the cross-play aspect because, some friends only have Xboxes, some friends only have PlayStation.
Maddie's got the Xbox and we got PlayStation.
Yeah.
And you got the Switch.
And I have the Switch because I like Nintendo the most. But in this case, I am going to rule for Fortnite because of the...
I wasn't sure where this was going.
I wish there was a little kid I could yell at.
I got to keep you all on the edge. So, yeah, it's going to Fortnite.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And so does Fortnite.
I'll take it. Yeah.
All right. Thanks, everyone.
This has been
OTR debate.
Should we re-record that?
No.
That's fine.